In German, there is something called strong and weak declension. This happens when you describe a noun with an adjective and an article or a pronoun. There are changes and rules that affect the adjective or the article or the pronoun. In this video, we will focus on the strong and weak declension in the nominative case, which is the subject of the sentence, step by step. First, we will talk about the strong declension. The strong declension applies to the article the and the demonstrative pronouns this and that. The rules are: masculine ends with R, neuter ends with S, and feminine ends with E. Let us start with the article the. We already said that this article follows the strong declension. For masculine nouns, it is der. For neuter, it is das. For feminine, die. If you already know the definite articles, this will look familiar. Now, let us look at the demonstrative pronouns for this. For masculine nouns, it is dieser. For neuter, dieses. Feminine, diese. Notice that masculine ends with R, neuter ends with S, and feminine ends with E, just like we said for the strong declension. When you use the article the or demonstrative pronouns, the weak declension applies to the adjectives. The rule is that masculine, neuter, and feminine all end with E. That is easier to remember. Let us have examples with the definite article the. The old man is der alte Mann. We say der because our noun man is masculine and der is the strong declension form. Then we add E to the adjective alt, so it becomes alte. That E is the weak declension. Another example is the old house. We say das alte Haus. The noun house is neuter, so we use das. And we again add E to the adjective alt. Another example, the old woman. Die alte Frau. Frau is feminine, so we use die. And we add E to alt. Now let us see examples with demonstrative pronouns. This old man. Dieser alte Mann. Our demonstrative pronoun ends with R because our noun is masculine. The adjective alt has E for the weak declension. Another example is this old house. Dieses alte Haus. The demonstrative pronoun ends with S because house is neuter and the adjective has E. Another one is this old woman. Diese alte Frau. Again, demonstrative pronoun ends with E because Frau is feminine and the adjective again has E. Diese alte Frau. There are articles and pronouns that do not take the strong declension themselves. That means when you use this, the strong declension goes on the adjective. To review, the rules of the strong declension are: masculine ends with R, neuter ends with S, and the feminine ends with E. When you use the indefinite article a or an and the possessive pronouns my, your, his, her, our, your plural, and their, you do not use the strong declension on those articles or pronouns. Instead, the strong declension applies to the adjective. Let us have examples with the indefinite article a or an. In German, a is ein if it is masculine or neuter, and eine if it is feminine. An old man, ein alter Mann. The adjective alt becomes alter ending with R because man is masculine, the article ein stays ein. Another example, an old house. Ein altes Haus. The adjective alt becomes altes, ending with s because house is neuter. Another example, an old woman. Eine alte Frau. The adjective alt becomes alte, ending with e because Frau is feminine. Notice that eine also ends with e because Frau is feminine, but the strong declension part is on the adjective. In plural, everything follows the same rules, no matter if you're using the definite article, the indefinite article, demonstratives, or possessive pronouns. The strong declension ends with e, and the weak declension ends with n for adjectives. Let us have examples. The old computers is the alten Computer. The article D ends with e, which shows the strong declension in plural, and the adjective alt ends with n. Another example is the old houses, die alten Häuser. Another one is the old schools, die alten Schulen. These old computers, diese alten Computer. These old houses, diese alten Häuser. These old schools, diese alten Schulen. Examples with possessives are my old computers, meine alten Computer, my old houses, meine alten Häuser, and my old schools, meine alten Schulen. You can see that in plural, the pattern is the same. Strong ends with e and weak ends with n for adjectives. Let us do a review of the rules for the strong and weak declension in the nominative case. For the strong declension, masculine ends with R, neuter ends with S, feminine ends with E, and plural ends with E. For the weak declension, masculine, neuter, and feminine all end with E. The plural ends with N.